Hey now, welcome back to Lone Star Mini Restoration. Today I'm going to show you my finished custom mini tool cabinet. I don't typically make New Year's resolutions. However, close to the end of 2021, I realized that I had so many projects in the fire that I needed to complete some of them before I continued on with other projects. So what you see behind me are two of those projects that I have now completed. One of them is my custom mini tool cabinet, where I have now stored the basic tools required for working any maintenance on a Mini of any sorts. And then the other project are these drawers you see behind me. I'm slowly converting my garage, and this is part of the conversion. And I will show you this in a little bit more close up without further ado. In previous videos, I have shown the progress of this particular cabinet. Now, what I have done, for anybody tuning in at this point, what I have done, when I started a restoration that I currently have going, I removed the front end. Me and a friend from the UK, Mr. Pete, when he came over, we removed this whole front end of the car. Now, I was a little careful with it, but not too careful. In the end, I realized, hey, rather than throwing this away, I wanted to repurpose it. Multiple reasons. Repurpose it, but it would also give me a little bit of practice with working with metal and painting, priming, sanding, all the above. So I took the scrap front end and I turned it into what I think now is a beautiful cabinet. The goal with this was to design a cabinet that was very specific for maintenance on a classic Mini. So within this are all the basic tools required to do general maintenance. I have allowed a little bit of space in here for tools that I know are coming down the pipeline that I don't have yet. But for now, I'll show you what I do have and the features of the cabinet. Some of them are kind of nice, and it turned out really well. The color of choice is Speedwell Blue. When I was in the UK in 2019, I have a friend over there with a Mark I Speedwell Blue Mini. I fell in love with that car. And so I decided to paint this guy Speedwell Blue. Now, everything on this is from my current restoration. It had rust out the wazoo on it. However, I have, using metal primarily, I have patched all the holes. I've created new lips. I've done a lot of work on this. The grill itself, I've actually cut in half. I've made two drawers. I've got a bottom drawer, which is a little bit deeper. Then I have a top drawer. They have self-closing slides that will just pull it in. And I'll show you the contents here in a minute. There's a compartment underneath for working on an item. And I'll show you around. I have, these are were the existing lights. The only thing new on this were the indicators, where I have, these are the glass, these are nice glass indicators. But one of the cool features is lights. So I just hooked it up just for the fun of it. I've made the lights work, and that's really just for aesthetic value. There's no real purpose. At first I thought, well, it'll help me if I'm working in the dark in the garage, but I have good lighting and I don't really need this. But as you can see, my little key fob, I even painted my key fob Speedwell Blue. It's a little mini. So let's see if this camera may show it better. You can see I've got lights, which is kind of cool. So now let me bring you in and show you what I have included in my cabinet. So what's under the bonnet? Under the bonnet, I have a typical work surface. I have my flexible iPad holder, so when I want to watch a video, like right now, lately I've been watching a friend of mine work on his Mini in the UK. So I've got that going. I've got my iPhone charge base for when I want to charge my phone as I'm working, clock or whatever. Over here I've got the temperature, outside temperature. I have also a friend from Australia gave me a badge to put on my Mini, an AA badge. although I have not yet figured out how to attach it because the stud back here is too short, but I will get that. So I have my rubberized diamond plate surface with my diamond plate back. This is basically so that I can put an alternator, a battery, a wheel hub, a disc, anything on here, and I can work it and it's cleanable. Now underneath, I've made use of all the space available. I've got two compartments. But underneath the wings on either side, I've got on one side over here, I've got rubber gloves, you know, basically for oil and whatnot. Come around to the other side. On the other side, I've got paper towels, which I all the time need. Now, on either side, under the wings, I've got compartments. On this compartment over here, I've got various tools that won't fit in the drawers, and I won't go in great detail about those. But I have various tools. I have the sheets, like I've laminated all my instruction sheets, like my Sykes picker vent, cone compressor, and other things. My Guessworks heavy duty flywheel puller. I've laminated them, put them in here for safekeeping. They're also there when I need them. So that's that compartment. Back over to this side. In the other compartment, I've got a multitude of oil filters. I have spark plugs, spare spark plugs. I have distributor caps. And again, I've got multiple minis, so I have a few distributor caps. Basically, and I've got a lot of storage in here for just various maintenance items, alternator belt, everything else. So, but that's kind of tucked away in there. Another feature that I have added is that I have added, since more and more tools are becoming chargeable via USB, I have added a 4-prong USB outlet. So I can plug in items and have them charging right here. Back here, I've got, basically these are handles so that I can push my tool cabinet to wherever I need to push it. It's wonderful. It spins wonderfully. I can push it to wherever I need it. And somebody's calling in on my phone there. I'm just going to ignore that. So now let's go to the back side real quick. On the back side of the unit, I've closed it out. This blank area in here, I've designed for a retro jukebox because I love music when I'm working on the cars. And I have an outlet in here to plug it into, but I haven't got that jukebox yet, but that's where that will go. I've got an external outlet in case I need to hook up a grinder or cutoff wheel or drill or something. That's available. Now, how I get power to that is I've installed a 50-foot cable that will plug into the wall. So, and of course, so I can push this thing wherever I want, and when I'm done with it, I just push it back in and let it sit. I have my handy dandy flashlight. I absolutely love this flashlight. Yeah, absolutely love this. But anyhow, this is one of the USB chargeable tools that I was talking about earlier. So that's just stowed there. Then on the other side, I have got, for that dadgum radiator hose that you always need a long screwdriver for, I have built in a storage compartment for my 2.5, 3 foot Phillips screwdriver. So that just kind of stores out of the way right there, but it's there when I need it. So that's that. But so now let's go to the drawers. All right, the top drawer basically has all rather many specific tools. I've got my Sykes picker vent, cone compressor with the various tools required, whether it's metric or SAE. I've got my flywheel locking tool. I've got my pot joint remover. Everything. I've got my, this isn't mini specific, but you know, I've got my ball joint, and I've got two different types of ball joint splitters, essentially. I've got my my rear trunnion tool for that. This is for my piston rings. I've got my windshield rubber remover. I have my This is my reamer for redoing the rear radius arms. I always keep a voltmeter handy, so that will work. And then of course I've got my heavy duty Guessworks flywheel puller. And of course I have everything shadowed, so I know exactly where it belongs. This is part of the flywheel puller. Within this guy is my third motion bearing removal tool, along with the Synchro Hub tools. Basically, I just have them both together in one spot. That'll take care of that area. I have a couple of these. These will basically are just, I throw in the drawer. I throw in all my tool drawers, as they help collect moisture to keep rust out, keep your tools from rusting. Let's see, what else? Outside of that, I've just got little compartments. I mean, this little toolbox holds the various bolts needed for the flywheel puller. Rather than just having them loose, I just keep them all nice and stored conveniently. This guy is basically for when I will be working on my installing my camshaft bearings. I may need to scrape the bearings before I install them. That's what that's for. I haven't located I haven't done the shadow boxing for that. Then this guy is full of various tools. This is all tools required, but because they're so small, I keep them all located in here. I've got all kinds of external hinge punch tools, the gearbox selector tool punch tools. I've got an extra blade for the windscreen. Basically, these are all individual tools, but because they're so small, I just keep them collected in one place, keep it nice and clean. But that's the top drawer. Now let me show you. The bottom drawer. The bottom drawer, a little bit deeper, but again, it just holds. There are a few specific tools. I mean, like this tool is primarily, this is from MED, and this will help me to install my pistons, the rings on the pistons when it comes time to do that. I've got all the various socket sizes for removing, whether it's the flywheel or the various compartments of the engine. I've got all the correct sizing of that. Of course, I have deep sockets, regular sockets, different extensions, both 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch, different extensions. Now, as for, I've got my razor blade. I'm all the time needing a razor blade down here, so got that. That's done. And I also have extra blades when I need them. I have my favorite screwdriver. This is a Phillips screwdriver from one of my Mercedes, and this is my all-time favorite screwdriver. It works for most everything. But 3/8, 1/2 inch ratchets. I have only the specific wrenches that I typically need, which are 3/8, 7/16, yep, 7/16, 1/2 inch, and then 9/16. Those, and I do have a 3/4 inch in here. I know I have used a 3/4 inch before, so I went ahead and threw that in there. But mainly these three sizes are all I use. These are the brake adjustment tools for bleeding the brake system. And then I have the same wrenches, but in a flex head. Same size, 7/16, 1/2 inch, and 9/16, except for they have a flex head. Those are the only wrenches that I put in here. Anything else is kind of oddball, I'll just go get. I also have the very specific size for my 13, 12 point, or my 12 point studs, my ARP studs. I've got that socket in here. I seldom use this, but I'll put something in here. But I also have space in here. This is for my material thickness when I'm welding. But I also, these are clamp tools to cut off fuel or any kind of liquids if I'm messing with a hose. Those are clamp tools. But I've left some space in here for growing tools, for growing items. Oh, over here, I've got my feeler gauges. So my feeler gauges, we'll use that for everything, but that's in here as well. So that's basically the second drawer well, final drawer. So this is my custom mini tool cabinet. There's a couple things I still have to tweak. One of them is a latch. I don't really need a latch for the bonnet, but I would like one just so that it spring latches in place and then you have to pull it up. As you can see, the rubber's kind of hanging off here. The latch that I used didn't work too well. It didn't hold it as good as I wanted it to. So I'm going to replace that before I tweak that. Other than that, this really is virtually finished. I am going to put some decals up here on the bottom side of the bonnet, basically torque specs and some other items that I need for maintenance. All in all, I think the project is a success. It fits under my cabinets over here, which leads me to my second project. And let me take care of that real quick before I say adieu. But this is it. Right, so the other project that I did finally complete are I designed and built in drawers to hold all of my Mini World magazines. I put them underneath my cabinets here, but each drawer has its own specific bonnet badge as a custom drawer handle. And then inside each drawer is I've got 3 or 4 years of Mini World magazines, all cased with archival sleeves. But they're basically in each drawer has its self-closing slides. As for the drawer pulls, which ones I've used, I have a typical Mini Cooper Wings badge. I have the Rover Mini badge. I have the Morris Cooper badge, typical Mini badge. Austin Cooper badge. I have the 40-year badge. I believe that was the, 30-year badge. And then I've got the Italian Job. The Italian Job badge. But again, each drawer has its own number of magazines. And I've started with, over here, I've started with all the first editions as well as a few special other magazines. So starting from #1 issue, summer of 1991, all the way through 2022. Now, I do have to say I have done work on my Classic Mini. I have gone back and corrected my first welding mistakes. I've done that, and now I am very pleased with the work that I have currently on the shell. I'm going to be revisiting the arches and reworking all that. But these projects are now complete, so thank you for joining in, and bye just now.